Hey, lovers! Welcome to the Book Lovers Club, the podcast where we celebrate Black sapphic love stories, one book at a time. I'm your host, Joy, a married lesbian, lifelong book lover, and relational communication scholar. Here, we don't just read the romance, we learn from it. I believe that love stories can do more than just entertain us. They can teach us how to love better, how to see ourselves more clearly, and how to create the love life of our dreams. Each week, I'll dive into sapphic stories written for us and by us, while weaving in personal insights and communication lessons you can take off the page. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's turn the page together. Welcome to the club. Hey, book lovers! Welcome back to another episode of the Book Lovers Club. And y'all, today it's a holiday. I am joined by one of my favorite authors, and I'm just so grateful that she came on my podcast, y'all. And I really want y'all to get to know her just like I get to know her through this conversation. But in the studio today with me is Jessica Cage, best-selling author. Okay, author of the Accidents Happen series, which I am a huge fan of. I got all the books, y'all. And just welcome to the Book Lovers Club. Thank you for coming on my podcast and talking to us today. Can you tell the readers just a little bit about you before we get going?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I am a girl from the South Side of Chicago who grew up loving fantasy and not seeing myself in the story. So when I started writing books, I was like, I want to write books that feature Black characters, but in a positive light, like not always, covered in trauma and trying to make it out the mud, but people who reflect the people that are in my life, successful and just trying to, you know what I mean? They're just
Mhm.
living life. So that was my goal, especially to give Black women in general like a positive light in fantasy because we you know how we be making it to like chapter 3 and
Big
then that's it,
facts.
girl. Um, but yeah, I wrote my first book while I was on bed rest with my son and then published it 6 months after he was born, and here we are 15 years later. So it's been a long, beautiful journey full of mistakes, but lessons that I took from that, and they got me here. So, and I get to sit here and talk to you, and I'm super excited about
Look, I'm grateful that you picked up that pen and started writing,
that.
girl. For real. Like, just having these type of stories in the Black fantasy space, and I'm someone who really loves to read a good fantasy and just escape from reality for a while, and
Yeah,
having characters that I could see myself in is very refreshing.
love that.
Yes, but you got a new book that's coming out, the 4th book in your Accidents Happen series. So, can you tell us a little bit about the book and what readers can expect?
Yeah, so throughout the Accidents Happen series, we've been seeing a certain character. She makes reappearances from the first book all the way throughout, and it's because she's the one that's like weaving this plan together for her greater picture. So Makosa, our water witch, as we call her, um, she's been in the background, kind of
Mhm.
like playing puppet master, but also helping these women get to where she felt they needed to be. And that had led us to this point of actually figuring out like what the heck was Lakosa trying to accomplish with all that she was doing here. It's gonna be the same, like funny, banter filled, sexy fantasy, but Lakosa's backstory is a little bit like you it's gonna piss you off a little bit, but like it'll be okay.
You know, that's one thing I really like about her character. She's quick-witted, okay? That tongue,
Yeah.
okay? She's quick-witted, she's so witty, and just the way that she talks and how she be gathering all these characters together. But I love to see when playing a lot like someone playing a long game and just
Yeah.
like her mastermind behind all of this. So I'm excited to see the direction that she goes in the book. So for those of y'all who are not familiar, the title of her new book is I Accidentally Locked Down a Witch. So make sure y'all lock that in so that when this book comes out, y'all can read it along with me because I definitely will be reading this book and talking about it on my podcast. Okay, so more information for that coming up soon. But with this new book that's coming out, without giving us any spoilers, is there scene or part of the book that you're really excited for readers to experience?
Ooh. Well, if you've read any of the stories and you've seen Lakota's cave, there are some things that go down in the cave that I think people will really they'll really enjoy. Yeah, we get back to that magical pool of water that she has, and I think it's yeah, it's a good time, it's a good time.
I'm
But
excited, okay.
honestly yeah, honestly, I'm just excited for people to see Lakosa shine and not just be a background character, overall. The book is written from her perspective and Shantae's perspective because it's, you know, I think, well, I don't want to just focus on one woman. Like, let's give us, both of them kind of going through this journey together. So let's see how they're, operating on both sides of the fence. And it adds a dynamic of like, I didn't wanna do too much with, like, being in the man head or whatever. Like, we got
Yeah,
that a little bit with Matisse in the first book, but I don't wanna be in her head. But when it comes to this story, I think the story would have been lacking if we didn't show both sides of their perspective of, like, trying to come together and, like, the struggles they have with this because both of them are reserved for different, like, very different reasons, but ultimately they have to come together. So seeing the journey on both sides of it was just it was really fun to explore, and especially how like the internal thought process of the two different characters clash sometimes. So as a writer, I was like, okay, wait a minute, like like you said, Lakosa's very sharp witted. She's very quick with everything, and Shantae is a lot more reserved. So balancing that was very fun.
I love this. I really am just so excited to read this book. So, considering the entire accidents happen universe, is there a character in this universe that's like your favorite out of all of them?
I feel bad saying it, but it's Jackie.
Jackie's my
Like,
favorite too.
she's I had to rein that character in, girl, for book 2. I was like, "Look, I will write your own story, but you cannot take over Whitney's book, like, please."
Yeah.
Um, she's just so fun, and I think she reminds me of all the, like, most powerful Black women in my life and how, she knows who she is, she's gonna stand on business, and she's there for her girls no matter what. Like, I am writing a separate book for her, and everyone wants her to be with a supernatural creature, that's not gonna happen. But, I love her. She's so sharp, and then her banter and her back and forth with, Domino
Yeah.
and the when I was writing I was like, "This is Pam and Martin." Like, if you could take them and put them in a fantasy setting, like, that's who they were to me. So playing around with that energy was really fun, and she just came back every time. I was like, "I love
Yes.
the character." When she tells Whitney, she like, "I know this vampire is not trying to go 50-50 with you." Like, I
Exactly.
you know, so I just love that energy. She's so like, I'm not taking no mess from nobody, but at the same time, she's still very vulnerable and still allows herself to like learn from her. You know what I mean? She's not
Yeah.
like so set in her ways that she doesn't take lessons and that she's not soft when she needs to be. And she has such a good balance to her character, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think the reason why I love Jackie is that she reminds me of girls from Chicago. I don't know if that was, like, the inspiration, but I was reading, it's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so Chicago."
As a Chicago girl myself,
Yeah.
but like if Jackie's like my cousin Darlene, like she's a total nod to my cousin Darlene, and
Okay.
I like send her flowers. But she's that girl. Like if you ever have your head down, she's gonna lift your head up. She's gonna imagine you straighten your crown. You know what I'm saying? She don't take none. If she gotta throw some bows, she will. But like she's such strong presence between like our generation, and I really do believe like a lot of her character is in Jackie.
I love
And
that.
then like I said, the humor and stuff. It's like my humor and like with whatever blended with like Darlene's overall energy, and that's Jackie.
Look, that's the one thing I love about this book series is the humor. Like, you really know how to make
You
us
know,
laugh. I giggle the entire time that I'm reading these books, okay? Even Jerica, how she was clapping back, and now she is a badass FMC, okay? But just the humor
thank
in these books, I really appreciate it. It's just they're just so funny. So, I got another character
you.
question for you, okay? Out of all of the characters in your Accidents
Okay.
Happen universe, which one would you date? Who you want to have you folded like a pretzel, girl? I wanna know.
I'm gonna go with Raymond. Like, it was Matisse. It was Matisse
Yeah.
for, like, yeah, I was down for Matisse. I'm gonna go with Raymond. I'm sorry. It's just that scene where they're at the party and then he's across
Yes.
the room. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Raymond. Take
Girl,
me to the show, okay?
the whole time I was reading this, I was like, "Ooh, I wonder, what that must be like."
You know, it's a good time. It's a fun time. No, I think also not just even because of that, but like the way that I feel like a lot of me is in Jerica, the way she's like holding on to everything so tightly, and like
Yeah,
I'm still learning to like in my own business, like allow people to come in and do things for me. Um, so the way that he allowed her to be soft and to really like, let some of that go, and,
yeah,
like, he did it in a way that didn't, like, shock her system. It was very, like, gradual approach to it, but the way he shows up for Jerica, I think is so good and it's so balanced, and then they have to do that for each other, but yeah, and I love his humor, and I love so if I had to pick one, I know, like, Matisse got the rotating pickle and, he he's doing all the things, but ultimately, I think it would be Raymond for me, honestly.
I love that. I liked Raymond too. It was the
Yes.
hands, all the hands,
Damn,
hands.
so see.
Yeah, I
Well, he
liked me
can
some
walk,
Raymond.
so see, look.
So you mentioned, learning to ask for help and relinquish control and things. So you are really doing the damn thing. Like you're building this business and it's really inspiring to watch somebody like build what you built and just how you're out here promoting and hustling and just all the different editions of your book, the special editions, it's just it's really beautiful to watch someone like you succeed. Like I really am invested in your journey and I just wanna see you I'm rooting for you, like, every step of the way. But how have you been juggling all of this? Like, you're a mom. I don't know if writing is your full-time profession right now. Like, how do you juggle all of your responsibilities and keep putting out these bomb books?
Luckily, right now, writing is full time for me. It used to be writing, mom, and a corporate career, but a few years ago, I was able to put the corporate to the side. But it was harder when my son was younger. I only have one son, so it's easier now that he's older. He's, a teenager, so he doesn't come to me as much throughout the day for anything, so it does free up my time, but it's always just been about making sure that I'm a mom first at this point. So having my son be a part of the journey helped, like including him in and like letting him know how important this was to me, but not in a way that made him feel like he wasn't important. I think like I used to gamify the process with him. I would be like, okay, if mom can write 1,000 words, we'll go to the park and we'll spend an extra 20 minutes, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And then he'd be like, yeah, and we always went to the park. Like I never just, "Well, I didn't make 1,000 words, so we're not going. I never did that to him. He's a kid, but like having him become excited about the process and then later on, even like joining the process, like he would help me design battle scenes and stuff. Like I would read a scene to him and he'd be like, okay, no, mom, I think the dragon should do this, including him in on the process just made everything so much better. And then when it came to like actually balancing the workload of it all, it just, I didn't get a lot of sleep, for a while. There were some years I would be riding on the train and on my lunch break and, late at night. And it was just like telling myself, like, this is worth it now because of where we will be because of the work that we're putting in now. And so, yeah, it was just me making the commitment to show up for myself. And now the balance is a lot easier because it's like I said, my son is a couple years from being out of high school and he's talking about leaving and going across the world to wrestle. So, I'll be, much more free time on my hands. But it has just been a journey of like making sure everyone in my life understands how important this is and they not only respect the boundaries and the times that I set up, but they also hold me accountable on the days where I'm like, I don't want to do this. You do sometimes need someone to like, no, 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 girl, come on, get it together. Um, it's been a journey. I've made mistakes or whatever, but you just kind of sit down, write the schedule out, and try to stick to it as much as you can.
Yeah. I always commend people that do anything, building anything while being a parent, because that in itself is a full-time job, just maintaining your home, being a parent, and you're making
Yeah,
content, writing, editing, marketing, like, all of those are separate full-time jobs by themselves, so to just do all of that, like, I really do commend you. So, I have a random question for you. You are a collector of keyboards.
I am.
I think that is so cool. So cool. So, 1, how many keyboards do you have in your collection now? And then which one's
Yeah.
your favorite?
Now you be asking the wrong question.
I'm like, "When did you start collecting keyboards? I need all the tea."
So this is so random. A few months ago, like I would say October, I had like 10 keyboards, right? And then I posted about one of my keyboards on TikTok, and it blew up. And then I had keyboard people reaching out like, "Hey, can we send you a keyboard?" And I'm like, "Free stuff, hell yeah, you know what I mean? Like send it over." And so now there's like 70. I don't use them all. I do, product reviews and stuff because it's fun. Some of them are like art pieces. I'll probably never touch them. They're just so pretty. But I do like the different sounds and textures, and like when you really start digging into the land of
Yeah.
keyboards, the build, the materials, like I'm like changing switches and keycaps and stuff. It's like a hobby right now. And I'm a person who loves a good collection. Like I have about 150 dragon figurines. Like I have turtles. At one point, I was collecting bonnets. It's probably borderline hoarder, but the thing is, like, once I'm done with the collection, I'm not gonna just keep it forever. Like, I'll keep my favorites, and then the rest I'll give away, or like, if, in the case of the bonnets, I just wore them till they wore out, and then I tossed them. But like, my dragons are forever. The keyboards will probably be forever. But like, it's just so fun and like learning about it, and like, I didn't even know they had different builds for gamers that use like magnetic switches
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, I need to be using the gamer keyboard because it's so much easier to write with. So
Mhm.
I didn't went down the deep end with it, but I love it. I'm having a blast. And like I said, I keep reminding people they're like, oh my god, I have so many keyboards. I did not pay for all of these. There is no way I would have paid for 75 plus keyboards. It's been more than that because I've started giving them away. There's no way my budget would have allowed that, right? But they do send me them for free. Some of them I have paid for, obviously, but like most of them have been sent to me just because they want me to post about it. And at this point, like I'm not making a ton of money off of it. I'm just having fun, and I get free keyboards. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the win is a win. You know what I mean?
Look, I collect hobbies like they're Pokemon cards. So
Yeah,
and I'll turn something random into a hobby, so I understand. But you
yeah.
had me going down a rabbit hole because you had made a post about your mouse, like the different mouse that you use, like,
The ergonomic
the
mouse.
organ yes. So, I didn't realize because I might need one of those. I am on a computer all day, like, for
Yeah,
work, for the podcast and things, so you really have had me go down this rabbit hole, like, I need to get a better keyboard and a
yeah,
mouse that's a better fit for my hand because you had mentioned about the grip, and I have a small hand, so,
yeah.
you know,
And
I
I'm over here with these big basketball player hands, so, like, it's so important to like you said, my job is to sit here writing and, creating at this computer for, like, 12 to 16 hours a day. So, I definitely have to make sure that the materials that I'm using are not
Yes,
only, like, fun to use, but also helpful in keeping my, hands good. I even have ergonomic keyboards where they're positioned different. The keys is split and it's, angled and stuff. I don't use them all the time, but like on days where I know like, oh, my wrists feel a little funky, I will pull those out. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So to give my hands a break. But I tell people like I use different keyboards depending on what I'm doing in the day. Like I have different style of keyboards for like admin work versus if I'm sprinting versus if I'm editing or if I'm working on video content. Like it's different keyboards for all of it. It does trigger something in my brain, and I think it's kind of like how they tell you like when you're working on something, it's good to change your settings
yes,
'cause it help that's like a part of changing my setting. I will change out my whole desk, like the mouse pad, everything, and it feels like I'm in a new space, and I can just snap into that creative focus. Like, for days like today where it's storming and I wanted to go to the cafe and write, but I'm not doing that. Like, it's not worth driving through a storm. I'll just reset my space here and get the work done.
I think, like, when a chef is cooking, you can tell when they cooked with love and they
Yeah,
pour that into the food.
yeah,
When you using the right tools and you vibrating high and you're not
yeah,
stressed and your hands are able to just glide across the keys,
yeah.
I believe we feel that in the
I
book.
love
You know,
it.
that's my hill that I'm willing to die on, okay? I
Yeah,
need you in a good mood when you writing these
yeah,
stories, okay? Because as a reader, I could feel that love that you poured into it, that
I love
creativity.
that.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
no, I appreciate you making
Like, Imma
sure.
tell that to my accountant, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Look, we gotta do what we gotta do, okay? Look, this all serves a purpose.
it
My
does, it
my
does.
readers can tell. Tell them my readers can tell.
They can
It's tr
tell, yeah.
yes, I
It's on a
know
podcast, it's recorded.
it's recorded. We got evidence. Look, I'm a Capricorn. One thing we got is receipts, okay?
Mhm.
So, how would you say that your writing has evolved over the years?
Oh, so much. Um, I think that one of the things I've always tried to do is continue, like, learning and educating myself on what I do, and I always tell people, like, just because you read a book doesn't mean you know how to craft it. It's 2 different processes. As a writer, you should always be reading because you're going to pick up, like, nuances and maybe some things that the execution of story that you may not have considered for yourself. But you should always study your genre. You should always study the tools and like behind it, like how to piece a story together. So because I've been doing that for, all this time, 15 years now, my writing style has evolved. Like I write such fuller stories, such the characters are more well rounded and more thought out. The editing process as a whole is just completely different from when I first started. So I always say like if it's 10 years from now and I'm picking up a book I wrote today and I like, oh, there's nothing I can improve upon on this book, that's when I stop writing. You know what I mean? Because no matter how much I grow, I feel like I'm always gonna be learning and picking up new tools. I will say that in general, the tone of my stories have changed. Like I used to write darker, more like grittier stories that really dealt with a lot of like family betrayal and stuff like that. People being murdered and heads getting chopped off and stuff. But then with the accidents happen series, I keep warning people like this is my first funny fantasy. Like prior to that, like it's a different vibe over there. Bringing in my humor into books and then having people say, "Oh my god, this is funny!" Like because the fun fact when I was a kid, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
What?
Um, yeah,
You
but I
might
had
still be
horrible.
able to do that, okay?
Listen, I don't think so, but, like, I
Yeah.
had I had horrible stage fright, and so I was like, "I'll just stick to writing words," and to get to this stage and say, "Okay, I wanna bring that into my writing," and actually have it be well received was just like, "Okay, yes," because I love comedy, like, I don't even listen like, I know a lotta authors, they listen to music when they write. I listen to, like, old stand-up comedy tracks, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like a part of who I am, so being able to bring that fully into my writing and have you guys like be, "Oh my god, you're so funny." I'm like, "Yes, let me tell my mama because she be telling me I'm not funny, but you guys think I am, so thank you."
And, the jokes definitely land over here. I'm telling you, I'm always giggling and laughing, literally out loud. Like, I'm at the book like, "Oh my god," It's just so funny, and it's
Thank
just it's really refreshing. Like, I really love a book that will make me laugh. I like to laugh, you know?
Yeah.
So, to mix that, it's almost like they're fantasy rom-coms, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just here for it. So, with the evolution of your writing, I accidentally locked down the witch is a sapphic book.
you
Is
did.
this your first time writing a sapphic book? Have you written any in the past?
No, I've written Sapphic, I've written MM, I've written I love to play with like, whatever the character tells me they want, that's what they're gonna get. I don't go into a story specifically saying, like, "This is who this character is." I let them tell me who they are. And if it's a woman who want a woman, she gonna get a woman, you know what I mean? If it's a man who want a man, if they want everybody, it's just whatever they wanna ride with, that's I don't care, you know what I mean? As long as the story is good and that the character is being properly represented, like, I do take into account that, like, maybe I don't have all of the knowledge to present the character. I will reach out to people who are a part of the community and say, "Hey, is this okay?" Like,
Yeah.
to make sure that I am properly because, yeah, this is a fictional character, but they're representing real people. So I don't want anyone to pick up the book and feel like I misrepresented them. But yeah, I don't try to like put my any of my characters in a box. I just let it ride and see where the story goes. Um, but yeah, I've written across the spectrum when it comes to sexuality, and I love having characters just be free to explore whatever they want to.
I love that. I've heard some language from authors where you all are a vessel and your characters are, like, speaking through you, and I love that, and
Yeah,
that's kinda what it sounds like you're channeling right now, is that you're like the vessel, and then you're just
yeah.
amplifying the voice of your characters. I
Yeah, my
really
son says, he's like, "No, you're like sitting on the deck, like at a telescope, looking into another world and recording what you see, like a seer of sorts." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's how I don't feel like I when I'm writing, it feels like I'm like watching a movie in my head, and I'm just like filling their story, so to speak. Like, I'm gonna write that down, and make money off of it." But yeah, it's just as long, like I said, I always stay true. My aim is to stay true to the character, and because there is a person out there who, feels that way and maybe has the same experiences. And I don't wanna, like, modify that, and that's a big part of why I became indie. Like, I never when I first started publishing, I never reached out to a publisher. I was like, "No," because I wanna be able to properly represent the stories and the characters and in the way that I see fit. And so now 15, I'm years into this, and that's still just as important as it was day one. You know what I mean? Now that, especially now, because my platform has grown so much, I don't want to compromise on character for any reason.
I appreciate that, but let me find out that we low key in our own supernatural story and you a prophet and all these people are real and you've been out here spilling their tea in these books. Cause let me find out you got supernatural powers for real and these are all real people because
Look, none, awesome.
girl. So as an indie author, I know that you attend book events and you're in spaces where you're networking with other authors. How has the support been for indie authors in those spaces from your experience?
It's been so. I guess because the spaces I've been in have been primarily indie authors,
Okay.
it's been great. I kind of found my community and I stuck to that, and some of them are still around, some of them aren't, but it's been super supportive, and I think the fact that indie authors made having such strong communities with their readers a priority early on, it did create an environment where it's like it's good and it's easier to thrive if you know what you're doing, if you understand how to have those conversations and get in those spaces. Now, I will say when I first started, there was, you had the stigma about being indie. Like people didn't see it as being, like it was quality or that it somehow was lesser than if you didn't have like a traditional publisher. But now we see traditional publishing following what the indies are doing. They're
Yep.
looking at our trends, they're looking at our data, and they're trying to implement it into their what they're doing, right? So I think that the space that we cultivated as an indie like community not only allowed a lot of us to learn and grow, but it also helped us have such an impact on the industry that now a lot of authors are like, I think I'm just gonna do indie, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they know they see the benefit of it now. And I love that because it does give such strength and such weight back to the author. And now you'll see a lot of people doing hybrid. Like technically I'm hybrid now, right? Where it's like I'm primarily an indie author, but I do have some publishing contracts. You'll see a lot of people doing that now too, because it gives such more, it's a
Yeah.
better deal overall.
Yeah, I've been seeing posts where like publishers are looking for new authors to already have a community built before they'll
Mhm.
take a chance on you because that's like a built-in readership and they know that they'll buy the books and things. So it's impacted the publishing industry too. But
Yeah.
it's just like I said, it's always so inspiring to me to see how you all are like building something from nothing, really, and from the ground up and
Yeah.
making it really a successful career for yourself. And you're a bestseller. Did you always have support of people in the beginning, or were you able to come back and clap back and be like, "See, bestseller," and really pop your shit like that? Like, yeah,
If anyone was ever hating on me back in the day, I don't know about it. I
yeah.
really have tunnel vision. If you hate me, I guess I will be the villain, if you want me to, but, like, I'm focused on me. I don't think anyone ever came, or no one was ever bold enough, I would say, to come to my face and say anything crazy to me. Especially people in my real life, they know Jessica had anger management back in the day. Like nobody's coming in my face like that. Like I was, throwing hands back then. So if they did feel that way, they didn't say it to my face. Okay. And even if they would, I was so focused on my dream that
Yes.
it didn't, if he was hating, he was hating, and I didn't know about it. But I think that for a lot of the authors I started with, like I early on in my career, I found myself surrounded by people who did more complaining than solution seeking. You know what I mean? Like, "This isn't working, the books aren't selling," and then it would just be a cycle of that, but no one ever taking a step to say, "Why isn't the book selling?" Like, is it the cover? Is it the editing? Is it the marketing? I had to remove myself from that particular group of people because I didn't wanna fall down that, and like I said,
That's real.
95% of them are not even writing anymore because they got into this cycle of just complaining and not solution seeking. And
Yeah.
I come from a family of women that we gonna find a solution, baby. You know what I mean? We're not just gonna sit here complaining. So I think that's the only thing is like when I walked away from that group, it was hard because it's like these are people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like, we're never gonna make it anywhere like this. And you are the company you keep. We've all heard that. You know what I mean? So I think that's the only thing I would say, like from early on, being able to see girls. I told y'all we just had to
Yes.
find a solution. But even now, I would never say that to them because I understand like it was very difficult, especially in the Black community in the indie space. It just seemed like why isn't this working for us when it
Yes.
is for them? Um, but I couldn't stay in that space. I had to move forward. And now some of them are coming back like, okay, so, help me out. What do I need to do? And I give them tips and, hopefully they, can make it work now. But I always remind them like, you can't just sit around complaining when it's not working. You have
Yeah.
to like pull out the analytics and figure out what's next. Like, how do I pivot? What do I need to do to make this work? But as far as someone saying, "Oh, you're never gonna make it," no one was ever bold enough to say that to my face. I'm telling you, like they would never. Southside Chicago. I will not.
That's real.
You cute because I'm a professional now. But listen,
But that's real.
But yeah, no, I think that the biggest thing back then was just people, like I said, the mindset, and
Yeah.
then figuring out like I don't want to surround myself by people who aren't gonna look for the solutions and push forward. And then that's when I found my first mentor, and from there, I learned and I continue to grow, and now here I am.
Yeah, that's very helpful. I know there are a lot of people out there that are trying to build things but don't feel like they have a lot of support.
Yeah.
And, the best thing that you can do to clap back sometimes is to just, like you said, stay laser focused, lock in
Yeah.
on your craft, and the results will show. The results will show.
Yeah.
And so I really love that, and that highlighting the importance of mentorship and community, and really knowing when to pivot, 'cause sometimes the company you keep, those type of mindsets really can influence you. So, 'cause I know there are some people out there, I'm dealing with it now myself, trying to build my podcast and my brand and all of
Yeah.
that, and the, fear of, like, trying to compare yourself to others, and, like, just making sure you lock in on your
Yeah.
own journey, and
And
you're
it's
evidence
not
of
to
that.
say that I didn't like keep the friendships there, but when
Yeah,
it came to business and like those discussions, I had to remove myself
yeah,
because your negativity was infecting my mindset, and I didn't like that. Because those relationships are still there. They just had to change.
yeah,
And when it came to my work, I had to build new relationships. Yeah.
yeah. That's the hard part. Networking isn't easy. It really isn't, and it's something you gotta keep practicing,
Yeah.
and yeah, we always talk
Like
about network. Mhm.
I'm such an extreme introvert.
Yeah,
I there have been times where I've had like horrible panic attacks that kept me from going to an event, and it's just like it happens, and I roll with it. But it's so important, and
yes,
sometimes I wish it wasn't that important, so I could just hide away. But you don't need a ton of people. You know what I mean? You can have like two or three good people in your corner, and they will advocate for you in a way that I didn't think anyone would ever do for me. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they will talk you up in conversations with people, and they will bring the information to you, and you do the same for them. But it's like I think a lot of people think when you say networking, you need this huge, bubble around you. That's not the case at all. You just really need to have a couple of good people that will be honest with you, that will hold you accountable, and then you can share the information with. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something I'm learning too. Even in this space, there's a lot of support if you know how to access it to help you
Mhm,
achieve your goals, and networking is very key. So with
mhm.
speaking of networking and the book events, which book events will you be participating in this year so people can go and try to network with you?
I have so I think it's like 10 of them this year, but, coming up very soon, I'll be at BookCon and then Monsterata, and then I'll also be at Black Romance Book Festival, which I'm super excited about.
I'll be
I'm
there.
excited about all of them, but I'm really
Yeah.
excited about that one because that's us, you know what I'm saying? I will also be in Chicago for Chicago Book Harvest later this year. I have some solo events. I'll be in Tennessee. I'm gonna be all over the place. Sorry, so sorry to the West Coast people. I don't ever really make it out that way. I'm gonna try to change that. I'm usually like Midwest, South, and East Coast. It's just so expensive to get over there, you know?
It is.
So I am gonna try to find a way to, like, go on that side of the country, but, right now I think I have, like, 12 events, and I always update my events page on my website. So, like, if you're ever like, "Oh, where's she gonna" just go look at that page, and you'll be able to see the most up-to-date information.
Yes, well, I will be at Black Romance Book Fest, and I'm excited. I'm just
Yeah.
grateful I was able to get tickets. How fast that event sold
Yeah,
out.
I saw that. I was like, "Ooh, child, I'm glad I wouldn't have to do that now."
Yeah. Look,
'Cause I'm gonna meet Zane. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm gonna meet Zane.
that's
I've met
real.
her before at the Chicago, Women's Expo that they had. She
Mhm.
was there one year. I'm gonna be in her face again this year because, like, that was when I was, like, a baby author, you know what I mean? So it's like, "Hey, yeah." I
Yeah.
know she's not gonna remember me, but still, "Hey, girl, took this thing with you." No, she was so sweet back then, though. It was so nice to meet her, so it'll be good to see her again in person.
Yeah, I'm really excited. A lot of the authors that I've interviewed for my podcast will be there too, so I'm hoping that I can, like, meet y'all in person. Cause I promise the
Yeah,
vibe is even better in person. So we got I just wanna have the chance to, like, you know, connect with y'all, but I'm really excited to be there. I have so many authors that I wanna try to meet, and,
yeah,
also other creators. I like a lot of the book creators in the space, so it's a couple of them that I would love to just, see in the flesh,
and
you
create
know?
y'all content together, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, I have, just a quick pivot. Being an author right now, I've asked a lot of people just their experiences navigating the parasocial relationships with
Mhm.
readers and just that landscape with, like, social media and just the expectations that they project onto you all as authors. What has been your experience with that? Like, how have you been juggling or navigating that as an author?
I'm very straightforward with my audience. I tell them what I do and don't like, and I have moderators who will give people the boot if they cross boundaries. But in general, I don't know. I just be talking shit with my readers. I don't like. I don't know. Use my language, but like I have fun with it, and I do understand that people do create these relationships and connections, and I try to nip the tense ones in the bud when I feel it coming, because sometimes it has happened. I've had to get legal people involved at one point. So that was a lesson, like, not to let those things kinda grow in intensity, and just, like, as soon as you see the signs of someone becoming a little too parasocial, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
To, like, nip that in the bud and not let it, fester. But I'm like, overall, I tell people, because people do come to me for advice on social media because I've been, fairly successful at it. But I'm like, you have to figure out how close you want to be with your audience when it comes to social media, how much you want to let them into your life and how much you don't, and stick to that. Like, don't start like opening the door a little bit more and more, because once
yeah,
it's open, you cannot shut it. Like, once you let them into a certain part of your life, it's almost impossible to completely remove your audience from it. So, like, even with my son, they know my son by the first letter of his name. They don't know his full name. They don't see his face a lot. Like, you may see him at a table, like at the table with me at a signing, here and there. But like, that's one of the boundaries, that because my son, he doesn't have a social media presence. He doesn't
yeah.
want. So I honor his boundary the same way, and my readers know. So if someone comes in and like, "What's your son's name?" My readers be like, we don't ask that question over here, honey." You know what I mean? Like they get it, and it's just defining it out loud and not
Yeah.
just keeping it to yourself. You have to tell people what your boundaries and what your limits are because they're not. If they don't know, they're going to be trampling all over it, and you're going to feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I think that we like having a good, like I said, my moderators, especially when I'm doing like lives and stuff like that, having them in the corner and they know the rules and they understand how to do that, and then being very straightforward and like that we can have fun, we can kiki, but if you cross the boundary,
Yeah.
get the boot. I'm block ready, baby. I'll block anybody. I don't care.
You
I'll
have to nowadays.
yeah, I will. I will. I talk about how, like, I was scrolling TikTok and TikTok put this one girl on my FYP. She was talking trash on my book. I blocked her so quick. Nothing against you. You don't have to like my
Yeah.
book. I never want to see your face again. Like, if it showed it to me once, you know how these apps are.
Yeah.
That comes again. So I was like, block, nothing against you, baby, but I want to see your face. That just protecting your peace as much as you can. I don't care. Like, you don't know me, I don't know you at the end of the day. So it's not like you're checking for me. But yeah, I will block a person quick.
Mhm.
I would clean up your space, keep your mental it's like social media is a part of your mental space. It's not, physical. So you have to keep it as clear as
Yeah.
possible. Having a team that understands like what you're okay with to help you manage that is very important.
Yeah, I feel like that's been a big part to discourage new authors. It's just the social media landscape and now people
Well,
making posts, letting people know that they DNF'd your book or
yeah,
they, gave it a really low rating. And authors are human and have feelings, but it does come with the territory.
yeah.
So,
Bad reviews are I don't get into all of that. Like I said, the only reason that one girl got blocked is because she showed up on my FYP. You know, if you don't tag me in it, if you hated my book and you post about it, I mean, okay, that's what readers do, right?
Yes.
I very much believe that authors should stay out of review spaces when it comes to their own books. You know what I mean? If I see someone on my FYP talking about my book, I will try to scroll so fast. And if I get caught, okay, I got caught. I got caught in
Yeah.
the sauce. But like, whatever. I think people talking about the reasons they DNF the book. Like one girl talked about my book and it wasn't the most favorable review, but people were buying the book because of it. You know what I mean? The conversation is happening around your story. Some people are gonna go pick it up just to see if this person know what the hell they're talking about. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I don't like that's not my space. You guys do it, you paid for the book, you had the experience, you want to talk about it. Cool. Just don't tag me in it. If you're like shit talking, excuse my language, on my stuff, just don't tag me because I have had people tag me and stuff like that, and they get blocked. I don't go back and forth. I don't. Oh my god, this person tagged me. I just block them and move on with my life. And I promise you, I can tell you their name today. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it has so little impact overall on my personal like life. It's just like okay, this one person didn't like it, but I'm pretty sure there are hundreds of people who have picked up books by me and was like, ew, because I've picked up books, very popular books, and was like, ew. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
your consumption of a story and your experience with it. I think that people forget that everyone can have a unique experience
Yes.
of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, just because one person hates it doesn't mean everybody will, vice versa. So yeah, I don't subscribe to like people shouldn't say negative things about books. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. Just don't be a jerk and go and tag the person.
That's real.
Yeah.
So speaking of reviews and all of that, your new book is coming out in May. When you're about to press publish and you're putting that book out, do you have a lot of anxiety? Is it a lot of excitement? Like, how do you feel on release day?
Yeah, the anxiety is still there. I really wish that I could say after all this time that it wasn't. It definitely is. It definitely is because it especially, like, with me kinda tiptoeing more into romance, like, my other book, the romance is not the point. I will not market it for romance, but, like, me going from writing darker, grittier, like, urban fantasy to rom-com, fluffy, like, lovely fantasies, that kinda heightened the the nerves, and then now I'm noticing like, okay, Demon Boyfriend did good. I felt like I would be like, oh, I got this. No, I was so nervous to follow that up because we all have gone to the second book in a series and been like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I was like, I cannot do that. So yeah, the nerves are still there, the anxious energy, like you, and it's not even just like the reception, it's like the back end of it all.
Yes.
Will the right file go out? Did everything upload on time? Like those type of like back end business things. Like, is everything cool on this side? And then we're like, okay, everything's cool. Now you have to wait for reviews to come in and see. And I only ever pay attention to my ARC reviews, like the people who actually signed up. And I'm like, okay, what are they saying? And that even comes to me in a like a separate bucket than like the regular Amazon good. I don't go on those and look, but like on
Okay.
the platform that I use for my ARCs, I can see what ARC readers are saying. So once I get the like general feel from that, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just kinda throw my hands up and I'm like, "It is what it is, it's done, it's out," and I'm on to the next thing. But yeah, it's always a level of nerves, especially now when it's like, okay, you did something that was really good, now you gotta follow that up with something even better. But it's a happy nervousness, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because I get to do the thing that I've always wanted to do, and I'm very happy about that.
Well, look, you're doing exactly that, and you've been, like, really kicking ass at it, and I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to share airspace with you, like, for real. Very grateful. Well, thinking about how you've been in this industry now, you've been writing for 15 years. What would you say to yourself at the beginning of your journey before you even picked up the pen? Like, what would you go back and tell your, younger self?
So slow down.
Mm,
I was racing through stories and I like now I do take way more time with the craft and just enjoying the experience of what I'm doing. Coming up, like I said, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. My family didn't have a lot, right?
yeah,
I feel like I was rushing the process in the beginning because I felt like I had something to prove to myself more so than anybody else. But I would just tell her to take her time and really enjoy those beginning. I really do, and yeah, the mistakes were made or whatever, but I really just feel like I should have enjoyed the moment, like lived in it just a little bit more and really appreciated what those steps meant to my life overall. And then I would tell her not to be so afraid to do the marketing and put her voice out there because I think as an introvert, that was very scary for a long time. I used to take my mom to book signings with me because she's like this huge personality and
yeah.
she would do all the talking and I would just sign the books and But yeah, just to slow down and really enjoy the process more. I don't think that I would change anything because but just appreciate those moments a little bit more, and take her time with it, I think is the only thing. But then I would also be like, "Girl, you did that. You did it, and I appreciate you for every, sleepless night and,
Yeah.
lunch that wasn't eating because you was sitting there, writing or whatever, like, and, the times where you almost gave up, but you didn't. I appreciate that. I'm so grateful for that. And for the decision to really pivot and build a new community and put yourself in a space that allowed you to grow the way that you did, like, yeah.
Ooh, that's a word. Yes. Well, in that same vein, what's one piece of advice that you would give a new writer?
I feel like I've said it, but like you have to study your craft and build a good community. Like those are the things, and just understand that I know there's a lot of people who you think are overnight success. A lot of people are like, "Oh my god, your debut novel." The Demon Boyfriend is far from my debut novel. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it feels like it is because a lot of people are just finding me. But like I feel that's the thing, right? We see this boom, but we don't see all the work behind it. Not everyone is gonna come up, write their first book and be a super success. Even the most successful authors, if you look at their history, they've put out projects before. They've done things. Maybe it wasn't 30, 40, 50 books, but like they've been working at their craft. I feel like, focus on your craft, build your community, and just learn how to talk. And when you're marketing your books, the key is to tell people what the book is about.
Yeah.
Please. I see a lot of authors, maybe authors marketing, and they're like putting up posts like, "This is my marketing for the day," and it's like, I don't even know what you're marketing. Where's the book cover? What? Tell me what the story is about. Make me care about the characters. Make me care about your story. and start that before the book is out. Don't wait
Yeah.
till the book is published. Start marketing it the second you start writing. Hey, girl, this is what I'm writing today. This is what I'm thinking. Get your readers involved in the conversation early because even if you're trying to do traditional, like you said earlier, they want you to have some sort of platform of engaged readers already. So you can do that without having ever published a piece of material. Do that now. Don't wait until you publish, because then it's even harder to market a book after it's been published.
That's really great advice. I hope y'all are taking heed, okay? Because for real, you have been doing the work and have the results and have a successful series under your belt and other books that you've written and just consistency and a loyal readership. Like, really, anything you
Yeah.
put out, I'm reading, girl, because I really I just I love your brain. I know I've said this to you offline, but just the creativity and the things that you think of and how you weave this world together, your world building, it really is magical. And I'm very grateful that we have this Black Sapphic story that's coming out with these characters and that I don't know. I'm just really excited to have this representation in the fantasy space and to be able to experience your humor and everything that I know and love about your writing with these women loving women characters. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to read it. I'm excited to read it with y'all. I want to talk about it, debrief about it. So I'm really looking forward to this new book drop. And the cover girl, oh my God, that cover is beautiful.
Thank you.
The cover art
Yeah,
is
Ashley
beautiful.
Fowler does such beautiful work. She really does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the covers, but I'm biased. This one is giving,
Yeah.
okay? Ooh, I love this cover, okay? It's
Yeah.
artwork, and I'm one of those people, I'll buy a book just off the cover alone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care if the book is good, if the artwork is good, I want it on my shelf, okay? So, I appreciate you for giving us this art, okay?
Yeah.
Well, last couple of questions before we head out of here. So, you're no longer in Chicago, but you're coming back. What's the first thing you eating? What
Oh
Chicago food do you
goodness.
miss?
You know what? I always first hit beggars. I get that
Yes.
pizza, and then I know people say Portillo, so I have to find myself into the hood to get me a
Yes.
good Italian beef, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, it's a snowball effect. I go black. I'm just eating everything. But I really need that pizza, and I really need me an Italian beef, and then we're gonna go from there. But you know what? This time around, I'm gonna find my way to Greektown. I didn't go last time I was there, but I
Yeah.
need to go and visit Greektown next time I'm there. But that's the one thing I miss about Chicago. Man, you come to Atlanta, I'm like, oh, it's a lot of black people. Food gonna be good.
It's not Chicago, baby.
It's not
No.
Chicago, and I think because in Chicago, it's like an area you can go for any type of food you
Yes.
want. Any type of food you want. They got their own little special nook where you
Yes.
can go on over there. You want Middle East, you go over here. You want Mexican, go over here.
That's that
Here, I'm like,
segregation.
"What?" Listen,
But it's
segregate.
protected the culture. It's protected the culture and the food
It
is good
did.
because of it.
It really did because it's still authentic,
Yeah.
and the people of the culture are still the ones making the food,
Yes.
right? Down here, I'm not gonna hold you. I went to the Mediterranean spot, and I went back, and I went in there, and it was none but black. I said, "Now hold on, where's the mod at?" You know what I'm saying? Where's my
That's
husband?
real.
I need some. It ain't the right people behind the counter. And you can tell, you can tell. So I love going to Chicago because I know that, especially like me, if you go to Chinatown, wherever you go,
Yes.
the people of the culture are making the food, and that's why it's so good. So yeah, but burgers and then a good Italian beef. I used to love hooks. So those are my spots first, and
Yeah.
then after that, we just kind of see it. How much time do I have?
Look, that's part of the reason why, so I travel a lot and I'm always like, oh, could I relocate here? Could I move here? And my wife and I are always like, man, but the food,
Yeah.
it's only so many cities that I feel like actually have food that I can't say they rival Chicago because Chicago really is top tier, but they have
Mhm.
good food. Like New Orleans has good food. I
Yeah.
know I'm gonna eat good in New Orleans, but after a while, I'm like, man. I wanna go back home. The food is just
Just the
better here.
variety.
Yes,
It's
it is.
like, I think a lot of places have a thing that they do really well,
Yes.
but the closest that I've come to, like, having, like, true, like, variety is, like, New York and Texas. I feel like those are the 2 places that I've been where they do have a good, like, variety, but it's still not on the same level as Chicago. It just
Yeah. Well, if you
yeah.
ever need me to mail you something, some Garrett's or something,
Listen,
I'll
I
send
have a
it.
few people. I'm
Okay.
not gonna hold you. But sometimes I'll be like, "I need a good bag of hot crunchy curls." My cousin
Yes.
to the "Alright, what else you want me to put in
The
this bag?
vintners.
What else?" Just do a circuit, he got a list of things, I be like, "I need a care package." I got you. Duh. A couple days later, I'm like, "Yes."
Look, I had
So,
stopped
yeah.
eating cheese, so I haven't had, like, real pizza, but Giordano's will make me a cheeseless pizza. So, I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I miss pizza puffs.
Oh, yeah.
I miss eating a pizza puff. I stopped eating
Yeah.
cheese,
Straight
so
from Maxwell's, oh my
yeah. Oh,
god.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
the best one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, my last final question for you. Where can readers find more of your work? Where can they find you online? Anyone that's new to your work, where can they go to learn more? Yes.
Best place is my website, jessicacage.com, but I'm on social media, the same username on all platforms. It's jcageauthor. So wherever you are, if you type that in, you'll find me. But my website is where you would find the most up to date. I'm laughing because I don't know when the last time I updated my website. But as far as like events and things of that nature and like the overall information about books, that will be on my site for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I enjoyed talking to you. Y
Same,
Look, you
same.
got I knew you were gonna bring me good energy because you're from Chicago. That's just what we
You know,
do.
it's what we
That's
do.
what we do. But I'm excited to read your new book. Thank you so much for your art and for telling these stories and for now writing a queer story that's gonna be I already know Lacosta's story gonna get me. Look, she had me after she was in that cave with Raina. I said, "Wait a minute, I need more. I need more from her." Look, if we talking about characters that wanna, get folded like a pretzel, give me Lacosta, okay? I already know. Her in that water. But just thank you for everything, and I appreciate you, and I wish you so much success. It's only up from here, like yeah, I just wanna continue to see how your career and all the books that you continue to put out here and which characters start to speak to you. And Imma find out if you got these supernatural powers because that's what it's giving. I feel like they really exist somewhere, you just telling their stories for us to indulge
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not at liberty to discuss.
They got you on the NDA.
Yeah.
Alright, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Book Lovers Club. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a chapter. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review because you know those reviews help other lovers find us. So if you want to keep this conversation going, please join me on Instagram or hop on over to Fable to join the virtual book club. And until next time, remember, the stories we read can help us write the love lives of our dreams. See you next Sapphic Saturday.